Hey everyone, so I'm still working on the Sketchbook Slam challenge. It's really hard, guys. I'm still averaging about 5 pages a day. I'm really proud of how much I've done already, but I'm still going a lot slower than most people. However, I figure that just means more art videos. Speaking of which, I hope to make a regular art video again pretty soon. It's also been hard to record because I don't want to lock myself away in my room all that often. So I tend to just put it off, or I'll draw in work, or I'll draw in the living room while I'm working on my other job, and I'll end up not recording it. So I haven't mentioned any of the resources I've been using while working on this challenge. The one I'm using right now is quickposes.com, and that has random photos and timed photos of landscapes, urban environments, people, animals, and it's been really useful. You can set it to like faces specifically, or just hands, feet, the whole body. Of course you can choose male or female. I'm not sure if you can choose nude or not, but if you just do faces, then you're fine usually. In this instance, I'm obviously using faces. And the only problem with that website is that when you do timed drawings, you set what time it takes, and that's the time it takes for all the drawings for the next like 20 minutes or whatever. So I prefer gesture drawings or random image drawing programs, so that will start out with shorter amounts of time of you looking at the image, and then they'll get longer and longer. So you start out with one that's like 10 seconds, and by the end you have one that's like 5 or 10 minutes, and this one doesn't really do that. So I usually set it for 2 minutes, because that way I'm not drawing really bad 1-minute poses for 20 minutes or whatever. One of the problems that happen on this page, that happens for a lot of people, is that the angle that you're looking at the book kind of warps the drawing. So the woman in the bottom left, her face is like warped, and same with the dude at the top right, because I was looking at the page from a lowered angle, not like directly facing it. Things kind of get stretched. I want to practice drawing more expressions and more variety of face type. I feel like I can draw a pretty good variety of face type, but it's only because I'm bad at drawing consistently. So it's not like I can choose to make a person look like blank, unless it looks like certain features that I tend to draw frequently. Generally it's like, well, I'll just try to make this aspect different, like their eye shape or their forehead shape or their chin shape or whatever. I'll just try to make that different, and we'll see what turns out. And that doesn't give me very much control. I'm also not that great at expressing emotions. I've never been that interested in it. I've always seen that more as something for like animators or comic artists, or something where you're making multiple images and you've got to show your character like speaking, which I don't normally do. Normally I just do single paintings. And I'm still not like thinking I'll really get into animation, even though I do like to do it for fun sometimes. But I am getting into comic making, and I like to do a neutral expression, or like a stoic expression where everything's kind of in the eyes, and that's just because that's my favorite emotion to depict. And I don't normally think like a screaming face really has a place in like a fine art painting, but like of course it does. I'm just like, it's just not the fine art painting I thought I was going to be making, but like life is long. This page is like a lot of doodles kind of, and it's kind of hard for me to not end up just doodling in this book, because I just don't have that many ideas. And I was watching a fan nerd video, and I know that the ideas will come if I just force myself to draw more. This page though, I tried to at least make it one theme, so it's all FLCL drawings. I did try to draw a full 20 pages in one day, and I think I got like 15. I'm not certain. The first 10 pages took 3.5 hours for me, and I wasn't doing a ton of detailed work. Like I wasn't doing everything was detailed, but I would draw like some animals, and then I would try to draw them myself, and that way I can like really learn how to draw these animals. And it took 3.5 hours, and then I did some more pages when I got home because I did that at work. But I mean, I thought I was a fast drawer, but I'm seeing all these people who are doing it, and I haven't watched a lot of videos. I mean, I figure you just need to power through it. In this hand, I made a really clear mistake with that knuckle. Like, it looks bad. But this is again an example of where I drew a bunch of hands and then I tried to draw one on my own to see what I learned, and clearly I still had some things to learn. I don't know how I feel about doing voiceovers. I know that they're like something I like to see in videos. I prefer to watch videos with voiceovers, and I know people in general like to watch videos with voiceovers, but I feel like there's not really anybody to talk to, so like, what does it matter? I don't know. So I wanted to do something that I felt would really impress me, because a lot of the work I had done like in the past couple days when I was making this had been very doodle based, or I was learning new things, or it was faces over and over again. So I decided I wanted to do a more detailed skulls, more detailed animal skulls. So I think this is a wolf. It says so, yeah. Which I just got off of Google. And then I'm gonna do like a snake skull later. And I feel like doing the skull didn't actually teach me that much about wolf like anatomy. I don't really know how to draw. Like, I don't have a basis for drawing animals at all. I'm always learning. I don't have a set way to just draw an animal from my head for any animal. I'm trying to learn cats and dogs because like obviously they're like around the most, birds as well, but it's a process. And I thought maybe drawing the skull would help me, like, you know, learn it, kind of like how the skull of the human helps you learn that, but it really didn't do much for me other than I see how big their teeth really are. So this is a tree snake, I think, and all of these images on these two pages I got just from like Google image search, and this was around the time when they got rid of view source image or whatever, so I was like not even thinking about it and just clicking on the images in these certain ways or whatever, and it would take me to the website, and I was like, oh, I feel like that's not what that's supposed to do. Like, it felt like, I don't know, like my arm was broken or something, and I wasn't clicking it right, and but I couldn't figure out any way to get the regular image to show, so then I'd go to these stupid websites which didn't actually have the image on it, or were just supremely broken. Like, you can't scroll but a millimeter per like scroll wheel turn, you know, so that sucks. But I get that it's like good for copyright work, I guess. Like, makes it harder to steal things, but it's not impossible still. It's just a little more difficult. So another resource I use a lot is Croquis Cafe here on YouTube. That's Croquis, I believe, and I'll put a link below. But Croquis Cafe has videos that are, I think, about 20 minutes long or a little less, and they've got hundreds and hundreds, literally like 300 I think or more, and they're set up kind of like a real life drawing class that you might attend. So they start out with short poses and then they progressively get longer, and they do have a nude model. There's a couple that are specifically just like heads or hands, but those are much rarer. They start with 1 minute poses, and then a couple 2 minute, and then a 5 minute. And I like to do these at the start of the day when I start sketching to help me loosen up. I would prefer, if someone knows of anything, I would prefer one that does start with like an amount of seconds at the beginning, like 15-second ones, 30-second ones, and then a minute, because I really have a hard time loosening my hand up and relaxing my wrist. And I find that 1 minute poses, while they do loosen me up, it's like not enough. I need to rush a lot more in order to properly loosen up. I'll hopefully have another video in like a week or whatever. I'm not even sure how much footage I've recorded. I've also been having a lot of trouble transferring files around and finding space to record because we just use our cell phones. So yeah, thank you for watching.